Good morning, everybody. So I would like to call to order the Public Improvement Commission hearing of May 12th, 2022. Mr. Liming, please take the roll call.
Certainly. Would the representative from the Public Works Department please state his or her name?
Yasha Franklin Hodge.
Property Management Department?
Joseph Callahan.
Transportation Department?
Amy Cording.
Inspectional Services Department?
Ryan Ronan.
Water and Sewer Commission?
Denise Devlin.
And Disabilities Commission?
Sarah Leung.
Great. All present.
Excellent. So on to our first agenda item. At the request of the Public Improvement Commission staff, the acceptance of the minutes of the PIC hearing held on April 28th, 2022. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
Make a motion to approve the hearing minutes of April 28th, 2022.
All in favor?
Second.
Aye.
Oh,
Aye.
got our second. Any opposed? All right, minutes are approved. Moving on to the next item, a continuation of the utility pole hearing on a petition by Eversource Energy for a pole installation within London Street, Public Way, East Boston, to install one new utility pole to be located on its southeasterly side at address number 149, southwest of Porter Street. Do we have the presenters here, and can they introduce themselves, their affiliations, provide a quick overview of the project and the status since our last meeting?
Anyone from Eversource?
All right. Todd, should we just skip through this and revisit in a future agenda or later in the meeting if we get the people we need?
Yeah, let's skip ahead and we can try again after we get through the public hearing continued section.
All right, that sounds great. So on to the public hearing continued section. First item, public hearing continued number 1 on a joint petition by the City of Boston, Mayor's Office of Housing, and the Boston Redevelopment Authority, DBA, Boston Planning and Development Agency, for the widening, relocation, and extension of the existing right-of-way lines of Herald Street, Public Way, Roxbury, from Holworthy Street to Hollander Street. This is as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Widening, Relocation, and Extension Plan, Herald Street, Public Way, Roxbury, 5 sheets dated March 31st, 2022. Could the presenters introduce themselves, their affiliations, give a brief overview, and report back since our last meeting?
Good morning. My name is James Smith with the Mayor's Office of Housing. We have some final draft plans in place, but we are waiting for some final input from our community partners on this. So I'd like to request a continuance for 1 month.
Excellent. Mr. Liming, do we need to have a formal action for continuance?
Yeah, just accept the continuance to June 16th.
All right. Do you hear a motion to accept the continuance to June 16th, 2022?
I'll make a motion to continue public hearing continued number 1 to June 16th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing continued number 2 on a joint petition by the City of Boston, Mayor's Office of Housing, and the Boston Redevelopment Authority, DBA, Boston Planning and Development Agency, for the discontinuance of any and all rights to travel the public may have had within a section of Holworthy Street, Public Way, Roxbury, located on its southerly side, generally west of Herald Street, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Discontinuance Plan, Holworthy Street, Roxbury, 1 sheet dated May 18th, 2021. Would the presenters please introduce themselves and identify themselves, affiliations, and let us know how you'd like to proceed.
It's James Smith, Mayor's Office of Housing. I'd like to request a continuance for 1 month on this item as well.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to continue public hearing continued item number 2 until June 16th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed or abstained? So moved. On to public hearing continued number 3 on a joint petition by the City of Boston Mayor's Office of Housing and the Boston Redevelopment Authority, DBA, Boston Planning and Development Agency, for the discontinuance of any and all rights to travel the public may have had within a section of Hollander Street Public Way, Roxbury, located on its northerly side, generally west of Harold Street, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Discontinuance Plan, Hollander Street, Roxbury, one sheet dated May 18th, 2021. The presenters please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and let us know how you'd like to proceed.
Yes, James Smith, Mayor's Office of Housing, requesting a 1-month continuance on this item.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to continue public hearing, continued item number 3 until June 16th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much, James. We'll see you in a month on,
Thank you.
On these items.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to public hearing continued number 4. Let's set up 3 petitions by Verizon New England Incorporated for a grant of location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit with city shadow within the following public ways in South Boston. Monsignor Dennis F. O'Callahan Way, generally between Dr. Michael Gavin Way and Old Colony Avenue, East 5th Street between K Street and L Street, K Street south of East 5th Street, East 7th Street east of M Street between East 7th Street and East 8th Street, as shown on 3 sets of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan 37 Monsignor O'Callahan Way, 2 sheets dated March 2022, City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan 627 East 5th Street, 1 sheet dated May 2022, and City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan 675 East 7th Street, 1 sheet dated May 2022. The presenters please introduce themselves, their affiliations, provide a brief overview of the project, and any report back since our last hearing, and after which the commission members will have the opportunity for questions and comments.
Hi, good morning. My name is Ross Bilodeau, representing Verizon New England. I'm also joined by Karen Levesque from Verizon. I know we've had a handful of updates on a bunch of agenda items today, including language, et cetera. So we have a handful of petitions under this one, item number 4, so I'll just get started here. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can everybody see that? Okay.
Yes, we can.
All right, excellent. Verizon to place, for the first item, Verizon to place 504 feet of new conduit from an existing manhole 13 over 641D, located at the intersection of Monsignor O'Callahan Way and Gavin Way, to an existing handhole located at 3 Monsignor O'Callahan Way for the purpose of providing new services on Monsignor O'Callahan Way. We have 2 pages this document. Here's our first page from the manhole and ending at the existing handhole. Next item under this petition is for Verizon to place 592 feet of new conduit from an existing manhole 33 over 37, located at the intersection of East 5th Street and L Street, to a future handhole at 283 K Street for the purpose of providing new service to East 5th Street. So again, you can see our manhole tie-in ending at an existing, a future handhole. Next item under this one is for Verizon to place 343 feet of new conduit on M Street and East 7th Street for the purpose of providing new service on East 7th Street. I know that this is coming from an existing manhole 33 over 321 to a future handhole. So again, you can see our manhole breakout down here, coming up to a future handhole. And that's all of our items under this item number 4.
Thank you very much. Members of the commission?
Oh, good morning, Ross. This is Denise Devlin from Boston Water and Sewer. Just a general comment. These were approved for PIC purposes, but if there were any of these that are different than what you got approved for from us before, they just have to be resubmitted to our office. We just need to
Thank
have
you.
a stamped copy if it's different than what we had a copy of before.
Denise,
So,
this is Karen from Verizon. The language that changed was just existing handhold to future handhold. Those will still need to be resubmitted to you.
okay, yeah, that's fine, yeah, if you could do that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. No problem.
Any other questions or comments from members of the commission? Any questions or comments from PIC staff or members of the public?
No comments or questions here. I'll thank the Verizon team for working with us to get these plans to a good place. I'll also remind the public, if you wish to add testimony or ask questions, please use the raise hand function at the bottom of your screen.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Hearing no other comments and seeing no raised hands, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing continued number 4?
Make a motion to approve a set of petitions by Verizon New England for a grant of location within Monsignor Dennis, O'Callahan Way, East 5th Street, K Street, East 7th Street, and M Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much. On to public hearing continued number 5 on a set of petitions by Verizon New England Incorporated for a grant of location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit with city shadow within the following public ways in Boston proper. Boylston Street from Brookline Avenue / Park Drive to a point northeast of Kilmarnock Street, Brookline Avenue northeast of Boylston Street, Park Drive, Charles Street southeast of Beacon Street, Beacon Street at Charles Street, Washington Street at address number 755, generally between Stewart Street and Oak Street, Beacon Street, generally at address number 105, southeast of David G. Muger Way, Boylston Street, generally at addresses number 162 to 176, between Charles Street and Carver Street, Charles Street, northwest of Boylston Street, as shown on 5 sets of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan, Boylston Street, 2 sheets dated March 2022, City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan, Charles Street at Beacon Street, 1 sheet dated May 2022. City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan, 755 Washington Street, 1 sheet dated March 2022. City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan, 105 Beacon Street, 1 sheet dated May 2022. And City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan 162 to 176 Boylston Street, 2 sheets dated May 2022. Would the presenters please introduce themselves and their affiliations, walk us through what is being proposed and any updates or changes since your last public hearing date?
Sure. Again, Ross Bilodeau representing Verizon New England. The only updates we had made was the change in language from existing handholds, future handholds, etc. So again, we have a few petitions under this item, so I'll just get started here with our first one. Verizon to place 315 feet of new conduit from the existing manhole 1074 located in front of 401 Park Drive on Brookline Avenue to proposed precast manhole 5015B located at the intersection of Brookline Avenue and Boylston Street, and 822 feet of new conduit from proposed precast manhole 5015B located at the intersection of Brookline Avenue and Boylston Street to an existing manhole 5015A located in front of 1346 to 1348 Boylston Street for the purpose of providing new services on Boylston Street. First plan, here we are with our breakouts, heading up proposed manhole heading up Boylston Street to the second plan, terminating at the last manhole. Our next item is for Charles and Beacon Street, which is going to be withdrawn at this time. That's that plan. Next item is for Verizon to place 269 feet of new conduit from the existing manhole 835 located in front of the entrance of Tufts Children's Hospital to an existing handhole located to the left of the driveway for Tufts Medical Center for the purpose of providing new services on Washington Street, Boston. Here we are breaking out of our manhole. to the existing handhole. Our next petition is for Verizon to place 282 feet of new conduit from an existing manhole 471 located at 116 Beacon Street to a future handhole located in front of 105 Beacon Street for the purpose of providing new services on Beacon Street. Here we are, the breakout to the handhole. Our next item on Boylston Street and Charles Street will be withdrawn at this time. And that's all of our items under this item number 5.
Are there any questions or comments from members of the commission?
Good morning, Ross and Karen. Just the same comment for BWSC as the previous petition.
Sure, understood.
Thank you. Appreciate
you.
it.
Good morning, everyone. Just to confirm that any of the new manholes or handholds are located outside of the pedestrian right-of-way, including a crosswalk or a ped ramp. I just wanted to confirm that with the team.
Aaron, can you speak on that?
Can you go back to that plan? I just want to see.
I believe it's this one, Washington Street.
No, Boylston,
Sorry.
and Brookline.
This one. Yep. Boylston's here. Continued on to sheet 2. Yeah.
Yeah, the new manhole doesn't appear to be in any crosswalks or anything like that.
Great, fantastic. And if it does seem like it in the field, if best efforts can be made to relocate those out of the crosswalk, that would be appreciated.
Yeah.
On the Washington Street portion of this, it looks like the path here in this granted location will cut through what is a red painted bus facility. Can you just confirm that you will restore pavement markings, including any bus priority markings to their original condition at the conclusion of the work?
Yes, absolutely.
Great. Any further questions from the commission? Any questions or comments from PIC staff and members of the public?
No, just to clarify on this one, as the team said, the Boylston Street of Brookline Ave, 755 Washington Street, and 105 Beacon Street locations are up for approval. The Charles and Beacon location and the Boylston and Charles locations are being withdrawn at this time.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion to approve the 4 locations that are not being withdrawn at this time?
I'll make a motion to approve a subset of petitions by Verizon New England for a grant of location in Boylston Street at Brookline Ave at Boylston Street, 755 Washington Street, and 105 Beacon Street, as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Mr. Lemming, do we need to take any action on the 4 items that are being withdrawn to continue those to a future hearing, or will those be submitted in some other fashion?
No, those 2 locations are just withdrawn, and whenever Verizon has gained approval, Verizon or Xfinity, I should say, has gained approval for those DAS attachments, they can come back to PIC and they'll appear on new business again.
All right, thank you so much. Moving on to public hearing continued number 6 on a petition by Verizon New England Incorporated for a granted location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit within city shadow within the following public ways in West Roxbury: School Street, generally between Dixwell Street and Erie Place; Dixwell Street, northeast of School Street, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Granted Location Plan, Verizon, School Street and Dixwell Street. Proposed conduit installation, 1 sheet dated March 2022. The presenters please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and give us a brief overview as well as an update on anything since your last public hearing.
Hey, sure. Again, Ross Billadu representing Verizon New England, joined by Karen Levesque from Verizon. One petition under this item. So Verizon is looking to place 297 feet of new conduit from an existing manhole 14/61 located on School Street at Erie Place onto Dixwell Street to an existing handhole located in front of 27 Dixwell Street for the purpose of providing new services on Dixwell Street. Here we are on School Street at Erie Place, breaking out of our manhole down to Dixwell to the existing handhole.
Thank you very much. Do you have any questions or comments from the commission?
Good morning, Ross and Karen. Same comment again from BWSC. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Any others? Comments or questions from members of the public or PIC staff?
No, none on this one.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Verizon New England for a grant of location in School Street and Dixwell Street is read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstained? So moved. Thank you very much. On to public hearing continued number 7, and I think I need a sip of water before I read this one. Excuse me. All right, public hearing continued number 7 on a set of 9 petitions by Verizon New England Incorporated for a grant of location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit with city shadow within the following public ways in Dorchester. Edwin Street between Dorchester Avenue and Florida Street, Dorchester Avenue at Edwin Street, Bay Street at Maryland Street, Maryland Street between Bay Street and Savin Hill Avenue, Savin Hill Avenue at Maryland Street, Hamilton Street southeast of Columbia Road, Columbia Road between Hamilton Street and Quincy Street, Moreland Street west of Brook Avenue between Moreland Street and Winthrop Street, Pond Street generally between Columbia Road and Pleasant Street / East Cottage Street, Devon Street generally from the address number 131 to Laredo Street at Devon Street, Monsignor Patrick J. Leyden Way northeast of Dorchester Avenue, Dorchester Avenue at Monsignor Patrick J. Leyden Way, Magnolia Street northeast of Intervale Street between Magnolia Street and Intervale Terrace, Washington Street generally at address number 60 between Normandy Street and Bishop Joe L. Smith Way. As shown on a set of 9 plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Granted Location Plan 71 Edwin Street, 2 sheets dated May 2022. City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Granted Location Plan 115 to 65 Bay Street, 1 sheet dated March 2022. City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Granted Location Plan 11 Hamilton Street, 2 sheets dated March 2022. City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Granted Location Plan Brook Ave, 1 sheet dated May 2022. And City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Granted Location Plan 21 Pond Street, 1 sheet dated March 2022. City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Granted Location Plan 131 Devon Street, 1 sheet dated March 2022. City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Granted Location Plan 20 Monsignor P.J. Leyden Way, 1 sheet dated March 2022. City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Granted Location Plan 275 Magnolia Street, 2 sheets dated March 2022. And City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Granted Location Plan 60 Washington Street, 1 sheet dated May 2022. The presenters please introduce themselves, walk us through what is being proposed and any updates since the last hearing.
Sure. Again, Ross Billadu representing Verizon New England, joined by Karen Levesque from Verizon New England. Like you just stated, we have a handful of petitions under this item number. The only things that were updated or changed were the language in regards to future or existing handholds for various items. So I'll get started here with our first one. Verizon to place 193 feet, nope, that's correct. 193 feet of new conduit from an existing manhole 13/62 located at Dorchester Ave to a future handhole in front of 74 Edwin Street for the purpose of providing new service to Dorchester Ave and Edwin Street. On my plan, 2 sheets, you can see us breaking out of our manhole here on Dorchester Ave, running up Edwin Street, continued. On to the next plan, down below to the future handhole. Our next item is for Verizon to place 541 feet of new conduit from an existing manhole 11 over 236 located on Savin Hill Avenue at the intersection of Maryland Street to an existing handhole located on Bay Street on the side of 26 Maryland Street for the purpose of providing new services on Maryland Street and Bay Street. So here we are, breaking out of our manhole on Savin Hill Avenue, up Maryland Street to Bay Street to the existing handhole. Next item has two plans. Verizon to place 965 feet of new conduit from an existing manhole 11 over 366 located on Columbia Road at the intersection of Quincy Street to an existing handhole located in front of number 11 Hamilton Street for the purpose of providing new services on Hamilton Street. So this is backwards here. We're coming from our handhole up to Columbia Road, continued on to the next sheet to our manhole breakout on Quincy Street. Our next item is one plan. Verizon to place 338 feet of new conduit from an existing pole 5 located on the southerly corner of Winthrop Street at Brook Avenue to a future handhole located in front of 137 Moreland Street for the purpose of providing new services on Moreland Street. Here we are from the pole, the corner of Brook and Winthrop, down to Moreland, into the future handhole. Our next item is one plan. Verizon is to place 474 feet of new conduit from an existing pole 1735 over 4 located in front of 28 Pond Street to an existing handhole located at the intersection of Pond Street and Columbia Road for the purpose of providing services on Pond Street. Our next item is for Verizon to place 10 feet of new conduit on Laredo Street and 456 feet of new conduit on Devon Street for the purpose of providing new service to 131 Devon. Our next item is one plan. Verizon to place 258 feet of new conduit from an existing manhole 13 over 62A located on Dorchester Avenue at the intersection of Monsignor Patrick J. Leyden Way, down Monsignor Patrick J. Leyden Way to an existing handhole located in front of number 20 Monsignor Patrick J. Leyden Way for the purpose of providing new services on Monsignor Patrick J. Leyden Way. Here we are with our manhole breakout to the existing handhole. Our next item is two plans. Verizon to place 548 feet of new conduit from an existing manhole 15 over 939A located on Intervale Street at Intervale Terrace to an existing handhole located in front of 275 Magnolia Street for the purpose of providing new services on Magnolia Street. So on our plan here, you can see with our manhole breakout, down Intervale Street to our next plan, around the corner to Magnolia to an existing handhole. And our last item under this petition, item number seven rather, is for Verizon to place 279 feet of new conduit from an existing manhole 15 over 642 located on Washington Street to a future handhole located across the street from 53 Washington Street for the purpose of providing new services on Washington Street. Here we are with our manhole breakout down to the future handhole. And that's our last item.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments from members of the commission?
Oh, yes, Ross and Karen, same comments again from BWSC. Thanks again.
Sure, no problem.
Any other questions or comments? Questions or comments from PIC staff or members of the public?
No, none.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve a set of petitions by Verizon New England for a grant of location within Edwin Street, Dorchester Ave, Bay Street, Maryland Street, Savin Hill Ave, Hamilton Street, Columbia Road, Moreland Street, Brook Ave, Pond Street, Devon Street, Laredo Street, Monsignor Patrick Lyden Way, Dorchester Ave, Magnolia Street, Intervale Street, and Washington Street, as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstained? So moved. Thank you very much. On to public hearing continued number 8. On a set of 9 petitions by Verizon New England Incorporated for a grant of location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunications conduit with city shadow within the following public ways in Roxbury. Pilgrim Road at Francis Street between Pilgrim Road and Brookline Avenue southwest of Francis Street, Shawmut Avenue generally at address number 724 between Ruggles Street and William Street, Mount Pleasant Avenue from Blue Hill Avenue, Dudley Street to a point southwest of Forest Street, Horridon Way generally between St. Alphonsus Street and Turquoise Way, Eustis Street from Dearborn Street to a point southeast of Orchard Park Street, Dearborn Street at Eustis Street, Hammond Street northwest of Shawmut Avenue at Hammond Street, Coventry Street northwest of Tremont Street, Tremont Street at Coventry Street, Fenwood Road generally between Brookline Avenue and Binney Street, Dimmock Street northwest of Washington Street at Dimmock Street. As shown on 9 sets of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan 195 Pilgrim Road, one sheet dated May 2022, City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan 724 Shawmut Ave, one sheet dated March 2022, City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan Mount Pleasant Street, one sheet dated March 2022, City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan 49 Horridon Way, one sheet dated May 2022, and City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan 146 Eustis Street, one sheet dated March 2022, City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan 15 Hammond Street, one sheet dated March 2022, City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan Coventry Street at Tremont Street, one sheet dated March 2022. City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan 73 to 109 Fenwood Road, one sheet dated May 2022. And City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan 41 to 55 Dimmock Street, one sheet dated May 2022. The presenters please introduce themselves, their affiliations, walk us through briefly what's being proposed, and any changes since your last hearing.
Sure. Again, Ross Villeneuve representing Verizon New England, also joined by Karen Lebeck from Verizon. The only changes to this group of petitions, again, was the language for existing or future handholds on various items. So our first item and first petition under item number 8 is for Verizon to place 459 feet of new conduit from manhole 38 over 678 located on Brookline Avenue at the side of 110 Francis Street, down Francis Street to a future handhole located in front of 195 Pilgrim Road for the purpose of providing newer services on Pilgrim Road. Again, you can see our manhole breakout here down the corner of Francis Street to the handhole. Our next item is for Verizon to place 335 feet of new conduit from an existing manhole 15 over 903 located on Shawmut Avenue at Ruggles Street to an existing handhole located at 724 Shawmut Avenue for the purpose of providing new services on Shawmut Avenue. Again, with our plan, Ruggles Street, manhole breakout, up Shawmut Avenue to an existing handhole. Next item is for Verizon to place 502 feet of new conduit from an existing manhole 15 over 642 located at the intersection of Blue Hill Avenue, Dudley Street, and Mount Pleasant Avenue to an existing handhole located across the street from 120 Mount Pleasant Avenue for the purpose of providing new services on Mount Pleasant Avenue. Again, here we are with our manhole breakout, Dudley Street, up Mount Pleasant to an existing handhole. Our Our next item is for Verizon to place 317 feet of new conduit from an existing manhole 15 over 360 located at the intersection of Horridon Way and Cornelia Court to a future handhole located in front of 45 Horridon Way for the purpose of providing new services on Horridon Way. Again, here we are with our manhole up Horridon Way to the future handhole. Our next item is for Verizon to place 489 feet of new conduit from existing manhole 15 over 305 located at the intersection of Eustis and Dearborn Street to a future handhole located in front of 152 Eustis Street for the purpose of providing new services on Eustis. Here we are in Dearborn Street with our manhole breakout up Eustis to the future handhole. Our next item on this one is for Verizon to place 345 feet of new conduit from an existing manhole 15 over 762 located at the intersection of Hammond Street and Chalmette Avenue to an existing handhole located in front of 35 Hammond Street for the purposes of providing new services on Hammond Street. Here with our manhole breakout on Chalmette Avenue, up Hammond to the existing handhole. The next item under this, item number 8, is to place 334 feet of new conduit from existing manhole 15 over 432A located on Tremont Street at the intersection of Coventry Street, down Coventry Street to the rear of 748 Columbus Ave for the purpose of providing new service to 748 Columbus Ave. Here we are with our manhole breakout on Tremont Street, down Coventry Street to the private property line on Coventry Street. Our next item is for Verizon to place 377 feet of new conduit from an existing manhole 38 over 157Z located on Fenwood Road at Binney Street to a future handhole located in front of 8082 Fenwood Road for the purpose of providing new services on Fenwood Road. Here we are with our manhole breakout in the intersection of Binney Street and Fenwood up to the future handhole. And our last petition under item 8 is for Verizon to place 485 feet of new conduit from an existing manhole 15 over 672 located on Washington Street at Dimmock Street onto Dimmock Street to a future handhole located in front of 41 Dimmock Street for the purpose of providing new services on Dimmock Street. So if we start on this side, our manhole breakout on Washington Street, heading down Dimmock, continue down here to the future handhole. And that's our last item under, our last petition under this item.
Thank you very much. Questions, comments from the commission?
Yeah, just same thing again from BWSC as the previous petitions. Thank you.
So,
Any other question? Oh, go ahead, Sarah.
Good morning, team. Thank you so much for coordinating with my office for the relocations of the accessible parking spaces. I have coordinated with my chief of staff who let me know that everything is all set on our end.
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the commission? Questions or comments from PIC staff or members of the public?
No, just want to again commend the Verizon team and Pike for working with us through all of these plan updates and conversations. It's been a lot of work, but we've made some good progress.
Thank you, Todd, and thank you guys.
Thank you.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve a set of petitions by Verizon New England for a grant of location in Pilgrim Road, Francis Street, Brookline Ave, Shawmut Ave, Mount Pleasant Avenue, Horridon Way, Eustis Street, Dearborn Street, Hammond Street, Shawmut Avenue, Coventry Street, Tremont Street, Fenwood Road, Dimick Street, and Washington Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much. Moving on, got a little bit more Verizon to get through here.
Actually, Chief,
I'm sorry.
Sorry to interrupt.
That's right.
We
We
do
need to
have
go back
a
to-
representative from Eversource, so we can go back to the utility pole hearing briefly.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So before we move on to the public hearings, we will return to utility pole hearing continued. Utility pole hearing continued number 1 on a petition by Eversource Energy for a pole installation within London Street Public Way, East Boston, to install 1 new utility pole to be located on its southeasterly side at address number 149, southwest of Porter Street. Would the presenters please introduce themselves, their affiliations, any updates, and how they would like to proceed?
Hi, this is Kellyanne Correa from Eversource. I'm on the phone with Chanel Grant as well. This job on London Street was originally designed, the pole was like right where the stop sign was going. I know one of the questions had been, can we put the stop sign on the pole? We've since redesigned the job. The pole's going to be going off the back of the sidewalk in the gravel area. So that's not within the limits of the public layout of the roadway. So we're actually going to go to the City of Boston entity that controls that parcel of land and get a license. So at this point, we'd just like to respectfully withdraw our petition.
Excellent. Todd, is there anything we need to do to formalize that?
No, we don't have to take a vote on it. They're withdrawing. If they need to change their mind in the future, they can come back.
Sounds great. Thank you very much. Appreciate you working on an alternate plan here.
Thank you.
Oh, all right. Back to our public hearing. Public hearing number 1 on a petition by Verizon New England Incorporated for grant of location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit with city shadow within the following public ways in Dorchester. Hancock Street, generally between address number 200 and Bowden Street between Hancock Street and Winter Street / Nevillis Terrace. As shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan, Verizon 200 Hancock Street, proposed conduit installation, 1 sheet dated May 2022. The presenters please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and walk us through what is being proposed.
Okay, sure. Once again, Ross Bilodeau representing Verizon New England. I'm also joined by Karen Levesque from Verizon. I just want to confirm that everybody can see my plan here.
Yes.
We can.
Okay, very good. For this petition, Verizon is looking to place 412 feet of new conduit from an existing manhole 11 over 444 located at 424 Bowden Street to a future handhole located in front of number 200 Hancock Street for the purpose of providing new services on 200 Hancock. Just to show you the plan here, here's our manhole breakout at Bowden Street, heading up to Hancock and over to the future handhole.
Thank you. Do you have questions or comments from members of the commission?
Oh, good morning, Ross and Karen. Again, this is Denise Devlin from BWSC. Just the same comment from BWSC that was mentioned in the public hearing continued items. Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the commission? Questions or comments from PIC staff or members of the public?
No, none on this.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Verizon New England for a grant of location in Hancock Street and Bowden Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing number 2 on a petition by Verizon New England Incorporated for grant of location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit with city shadow within the following public ways in Dorchester: Sydney Street, generally between address number 185 and Harbor View Street, Harborview Street, west of Sydney Street, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan, Verizon 159 to 185 Sydney Street, proposed conduit installation, one sheet dated March 2022. The presenters please introduce themselves, their affiliation, and what is being proposed here.
Sure. Again, Ross Billanu representing Verizon New England. I'm also joined by Karen Levesque from Verizon. This petition, Verizon is looking to place 386 feet of new conduit from the existing manhole number 11 over 218B, located in front of 81 Harborview Street, to an existing handhole located in front of 179 Sydney Street, for the purpose of providing new services on Sydney Street. So just to present my plan a little bit here we are with a manhole breakout, Harborview Street, up to Sydney, and down to the existing handhole.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from members of the commission?
Oh, yeah, same comment from BWSC as previous petition. Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Any others? Questions or comments from PSC staff or members of the public?
No, none.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Verizon New England for a grant of location in Sydney Street and Harborview Street as read in the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. And on to public hearing number 3. On a petition by Verizon New England Incorporated for grant of location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit with city shadow within the following public ways in South Boston: Preble Street, generally between Old Colony Avenue and Liberty Place; Divine Way, west of Old Colony Avenue; Columbia Road, generally at Old Colony Avenue, Preble Street, shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan, Verizon 345 Old Colony Ave, proposed conduit installation, one sheet dated May 2022. Presenters please introduce themselves and provide, and their affiliations, and provide a very brief overview of what is being proposed here.
Sure. Ross Billanu representing Verizon New England. I'm also joined by Karen Levesque from Verizon. Verizon is looking to place 467 feet of new conduit from the existing manhole 33 over 131 located on Preble Street at Liberty Place onto Colony Avenue to a future handhole located on Divine Way on the side of 345 Old Colony Avenue for the purpose of providing new services on Divine Way. Also under this petition, Verizon is also looking to place 415 feet of new conduit from manhole 33 over 131 located on Preble Street at the corner of Liberty Place to a future handhole located at the southernmost curb of the Columbia Road Rotary for the purpose of providing new service to Preble Street. We'll zoom in a bit here. Here's our manhole breakout on Preble Street at Liberty Place. Down this future handhole, as well as across by the Rotary to the future handhole.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the commission?
Oh, yes, just the same comments as previous petitions for the, from BWSC. Thanks again.
Oh, thank you.
Any others? Comments or questions from PIC staff or members of the public?
No, all set.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Verizon New England for a grant of location in Preble Street, Divine Way, and Columbia Road as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much to the Verizon team for that little marathon. Much appreciated. And we can move on. So public hearing number 4 on a petition by the Boston Redevelopment Authority, DBA, Boston Planning and Development Agency, for the widening and relocation of the existing right-of-way line to the following public ways in Boston proper: Union Street, generally on its westerly side at address number 98 south of Hanover Street; Hanover Street on its southerly side between Union Street and Congress Street, North Street on its northerly side east of Congress Street on its easterly side north of North Street, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Widening and Relocation Plan, Congress Street, Hanover Street, Union Street, North Street, Public Way, one sheet dated February 15, 2022. The presenters please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and give a brief overview of what's proposed here and any updates since our last hearing.
Yes.
New business.
Thank you and good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the Commission. Jason Tobin here from the Boston Planning and Development Agency's Capital Construction Team. With me is my colleague Ray Panesi of BPDA Real Estate. As presented 2 weeks ago, this is an administrative action to clean the record as part of the transfer of the BPDA-owned Union Street Park to the Boston Parks and Recreation Department. During the ownership transfer process, the Parks Department has requested that 3 areas of the site be transferred to the city as public right-of-way. Now shared on the screen is the Public Improvement Commission widening and relocation plan for the action before you. The 3 areas petitioned include existing sidewalk areas and street lighting controls. So here we have area 1, 2, and 3. So again, this is an administrative housekeeping action. No construction improvements or modifications are planned or proposed. We're simply looking to return land currently used as part of the public way. Happy to answer any questions you may have. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Members of the Commission? Members of PIC staff or members of the public?
Just a reminder to the project team, at the new business hearing, there was a request to forward a copy of the current maintenance agreement for the park to PIC staff. If you can please take care of that, we appreciate it.
Absolutely. We'll take care of that.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve a petition by the Boston Redevelopment Authority for the widening and relocation of the rights of way at Union Street, Hanover Street, North Street, and Congress Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much. Moving on to public hearing number 5 on a petition by the General Hospital Corporation, DBA Massachusetts General Hospital, for the discontinuance of any and all rights of travel the public may have had within the entirety of North Anderson Street Public Way, Boston proper, between Cambridge Street and Parkman Street, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Discontinuance, North Anderson Street, West End, one sheet dated December 30th, 2021. Would the presenters please introduce themselves, their affiliations, provide a brief overview of the project, and report back on any outstanding questions or revisions resulting from the new business hearing, after which we'll hear questions or comments from the members of the commission. I would also ask, and folks who are not speaking, please keep themselves muted. We're getting a little bit of background noise there. Turn it over to the MGH folks.
Good morning, members of the commission, chair, members of staff. Thank you for having us today. My name is Howard Mosier with VHB in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm joined this morning by Tom Sinevich from MVBJ, project architect, Nick Haney from MGH, Chris Rainier from Goulston and Storrs, legal counsel, and many other members of the project team who will be available to answer any questions that may come up. 2 weeks ago, we presented the comprehensive Massachusetts General Hospital Cambridge Street project. I have an image on the screen, hopefully everyone can see it, that represents an aerial rendering of the project from high over the Charles and Beacon Hill. This project includes approximately 6 levels of below-grade space, extensive podium containing retail and clinical uses, a public concourse, and 2 patient towers containing inpatient beds for centers of excellence. The project also includes a below-grade tunnel on Parkman Street and above-grade bridge that spans Parkman Street and North Grove Street. This project is the culmination of many years of agency and community process, and we're excited to be here today. As we go through the actions, I will describe any changes that have been made as a result of comments made at the new business hearing or any comments made offline during the interim. Moving closer to City Hall above Beacon Hill, here's another rendering of the Mass General Hospital campus, as well as the proposed building. You can see the new towers in this rendering. Just for orientation, real brief, Cambridge Street, we'll be talking about is at the bottom of the screen to the south, Blossom on the right to the east, Parkman to the north, which splits the campus, and North Grove to the west and left of the plan. The first action that we are seeking approval today is the discontinuance of North Anderson Street, which would be located pretty much in the mid-block between the two tower components where the North Anderson Public Arcade is being proposed. No changes were requested nor made to this plan. Thank you.
Do I hear questions or comments from members of the commission? PIC staff or members of the public, and just as a reminder, please use the raise hand function if you would like to speak if you are a member of the public. We'll start with PIC staff and then we'll go to Mr. Whitney.
No, we're all set. Go ahead, Rob.
Can I go? Go ahead.
Rob,
okay.
yep.
Yeah, I didn't want to speak out of turn. I just had a question since I heard there were lawyers on the phone. I always am interested. With respect to I know this is to eliminate the public easements currently running on North Anderson Street. What kind of legal issues? My understanding is that MGH owns both sides of the streets, but also I know that they do own parts of the sidewalk in fee, and the public has been crossing over those public sidewalks for 50 years or so. To what extent, what kind of legal issues did you guys deal with in order to sort of determine that you could seek the closure of the public easement access? Thanks. Just a lawyer's interest.
Chris Rainey on behalf of Mass General, if you'd like me to answer.
Yes, please go ahead, Chris.
Great.
Sure. Thanks, Mr. Whitney. As part of this process, the applicant did obtain a title certification opinion from Joel Stein's office, who did confirm that MGH owns both sides of North Anderson Street as well as the fee underneath. Because the street is laid out in easement, there are no prescriptive, public easements because they're there walking on the land through virtue of the public way easement. So the discontinuance of the public way easements will allow the conversion of the street into a portion of the project parcel. So that's part of this normal process.
Okay. Great. That's I thought the same, but you confirmed it. That was great. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from members of the public? Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by the General Hospital Corporation for the discontinuance of any and all rights in North Anderson Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Moving on to public hearing number 6 on a petition by the General Hospital Corporation, DBA Massachusetts General Hospital, for the discontinuance of any and all rights to travel the public may have had within a pedestrian easement adjacent to Parkman Street, Public Way, Boston proper, located on its southerly side between Blossom Street and North Grove Street, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston, Public Works Department Engineering Division, Discontinuance Plan, Parkman Street, Boston, one sheet dated December 30th, 2021. Would the presenters please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and give a brief overview of this action?
Good morning. This is Howard Mosier from VHB again, joined by Nick Haney and Chris Rainier as the previous item. Under this action, we are proposing to discontinuance an easement that MGH had granted to the city a number of years ago. This discontinuance is a bit of a mechanical step that will allow for Mass General then to make modifications and re-grant a pedestrian easement in the same zone, though the geometry will be changing. So under a subsequent action, we will be granting back pedestrian easements on Parkman Street. No changes were made since new business.
Thank you very much. Questions or comments from members of the commission? Questions or comments from PIC staff or members of the public?
No, I see none.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve a petition by the General Hospital Corporation for a discontinuance of pedestrian easement in Parkman Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing number 7 on a petition by the General Hospital Corporation, DBA Massachusetts General Hospital for the widening and relocation of the existing right-of-way lines of Parkman Street Public Way, Boston proper, located on its southerly side, generally between Blossom Street and North Grove Street, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Widening and Relocation Plan, Parkman Street, Boston, one sheet dated December 30th, 2021. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and give a brief overview of what is being proposed with this action?
Good morning, Howard Mosier from VHB, also joined by other members of the design and project team should questions arise. Under this proposed action, given that there's curb modifications proposed as part of the project, the city has requested that we grant a widening and relocation and subsequent highway easement for vehicles to travel between the curb lines. No changes were made to this plan since new business.
Questions or comments from members of the commission? Questions or comments from PIC staff or members of the public?
No, none.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve a petition by the General Hospital Corporation for the widening and relocation of Parkman Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing number 8 on a set of petitions by the General Hospital Corporation, DBA Massachusetts General Hospital for the acceptance of 4 pedestrian easements adjacent to the following public ways in Boston proper: Parkman Street on its southerly side between Blossom Street and North Grove Street, Blossom Street on its westerly side between Cambridge Street and Parkman Street, Cambridge Street on its northerly side between Blossom Street and North Grove Street, North Grove Street on its easterly side between Cambridge Street and Parkman Street. Shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Pedestrian Easement Plan, Parkman Street, Blossom Street, Cambridge Street, North Grove Street, Boston, 4 sheets dated December 30th, 2021. Would the presenters please introduce themselves, their affiliations, give a brief overview of this action, and any changes since our last meeting on this?
Good morning, members of the commission. Howard Mosier from VHB again, also still joined by many members of the project team. Under this proposed pedestrian easement, we will be granting a new pedestrian easement to the city. This replaces the one that we discontinued a couple actions ago. There have been no changes made to this pedestrian easement since we last presented. On Blossom Street, there has a modest change. We've simplified the geometry at staff request, but it has not changed the rights that were proposed under new business. We've just cleaned up a bit of the geometry. And similarly, Cambridge Street pedestrian easement is unchanged, and the North Grove pedestrian easement is unchanged.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments from members of the commission? Questions or comments from PIC staff or members of the public?
All set.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve a set of petitions by the General Hospital Corporations for the pedestrian easements within Parkman Street, Blossom Street, Cambridge Street, and North Grove Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing number 9 on a petition by the General Hospital Corporation, DBA Massachusetts General Hospital, for the vertical discontinuance of the public's rights within a portion of the following public ways in Boston proper, vertically above the grades of the roadways: Parkman Street, generally at North Grove Street, North Grove Street, generally between Parkman Street and Fruit Street, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Vertical Discontinuance, Parkman Street and North Grove Street, West End, one sheet dated December 30th, 2021. Would the presenters please introduce themselves and their affiliations, provide a brief overview of what's being proposed here and any changes since your new business hearing?
Good morning, Howard Mosier from VHB, joined by members of the project team. Under this proposed action, to facilitate the construction of a two-level bridge connecting the new project to the main campus, the proponent is proposing the discontinuance of that airspace for the bridge as shown on the plan. No revisions have been requested nor made since the new business hearing.
Questions or comments from members of the commission? Questions or comments from PIC staff or members of the public?
Howard, could you just speak to your coordination with the fire department on this?
Happy to. At staff's request, we reviewed the clearance under the bridge with fire department staff, and they found it to be in excess of their minimum requirements. And they have asserted that in an email that I think staff has a copy of.
Great, thank you very much. Any final comments or questions from the public or PIC staff?
No, all set. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by the General Hospital Corporation for vertical discontinuance in Parkman Street and North Grove Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing number 10 on a petition by the General Hospital Corporation, DBA Massachusetts General Hospital, for the vertical discontinuance of the public's rights within a portion of Parkman Street Public Way, Boston proper, located generally west of Blossom Street, vertically below the grade of the roadway. Shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Vertical Discontinuance, Parkman Street West End, one sheet dated December 30th, 2021. Presenters please introduce themselves, their affiliations, give a brief overview of what's being proposed and any changes since the new business hearing.
Good morning. I'm Howard Mosier with the VHB. Under this proposed action, the proponent is proposing two vertical discontinuances. The one shown on the right is a vertical discontinuance below Parkman Street that will allow for the construction of below-grade tunnel connecting the new project to the main campus for the purposes of service and back-of-house functions. On the left side, there's a small area proposed for discontinuance that will allow for the construction of the below-grade foundations and some modest above-grade projections above the areas we just granted the widening relocation for.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments from members of the commission? Questions or comments from PIC staff or members of the public?
All set.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve a petition by the General Hospital Corporation for the vertical discontinuance in a portion of Parkman Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much. On to public hearing number 11. On a set of petitions by the General Hospital Corporation, DBA Massachusetts General Hospital, for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Boston proper, consisting of curb realignment, roadway and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, specialty pavement, traffic signal infrastructure, street lighting infrastructure, street furniture, street trees, planters, landscaping, storm drain infrastructure, bike racks, bollards, flex posts, wayfinding signage, and driveway curb cuts. Parkman Street between Blossom Street and North Grove Street, Blossom Street between Cambridge Street and Parkman Street, Cambridge Street between Blossom Street and North Grove Street, North Grove Street between Cambridge Street and Parkman Street, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repair Plan, Parkman Street, Blossom Street, Cambridge Street, North Grove Street, Boston, 7 sheets dated December 30th, 2021. The presenters please introduce themselves, their affiliations, provide a brief overview of what's being proposed and any changes since your new business hearing.
Good morning. This is Howard Mosier from VHB on behalf of the proponent, Mass General Hospital. Under this action, we're proposing specific repairs to the streets and sidewalks adjacent to the proposed project. The first street I would talk about is Parkman Street between North Grove and Blossom Street, where we're proposing the installation of concrete sidewalks, some furnishing zones, protective bollards, a curb cut for the proposed garage, a curb cut for a small emergency ambulance bay, reconstruction of accessible curb ramps. One change has been made to this plan since new business. At the request of Commissioner Cording, we've added the BTD conduit for future signals and handholds. Otherwise, I do not believe any changes have been made.
Members of the commission, any questions or comments?
So I'm going to go around the
I'm
streets.
sorry.
That's okay.
Apologies.
We got four
jumped the gun.
streets, so I'm
Yeah.
happy to pause at each one, or I'll just wait to the end. On
Let's
Blossom-
go through all of these. Thank
Okay.
you.
Sorry about that. On Blossom Street, we are proposing, again, specific repairs consisting of concrete, sidewalks, city standard, the installation of street trees, an installation of a sign that will allow service vehicles to know if the loading dock's full so as not to obstruct the sidewalk in the street. And no changes have been made to this plan since new business. Moving on to Cambridge Street, proposing the installation of a number of street trees, a furnishing zone, bike racks, concrete sidewalks. There has been a change to this plan. At the request of the Transportation Department, the proponent has widened some of the accessible curb ramps and modified the curb radii at the intersection of Cambridge and North Grove to provide more pedestrian space on the sidewalk versus road space. Truck turning movements have been made to analyze that request, and all the trucks and vehicles are able to maneuver the revised curb radii. That correspondence has been made and affirmed with BTD staff. And then moving on to North Grove Street, again, the widened accessible curb ramp at North Grove Cambridge intersection has been made. Otherwise, no other changes to the proposal here, which includes concrete flatwork sidewalks, a new driveway curb cut. And as we had described at new business, we had eliminated the taxi stand. The North Grove will also include the construction of the flexible bollards that will create the protected bike lane. Within the bike lane, Mass General Hospital will be maintaining that.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments from the commission?
Yes, on Cambridge Street where the reciprocal ramp is being reconstructed, can you remind me if in the median there are also detectable warning surfaces and whether or not it's a possibility to add those?
I don't believe there are detectable warnings within the median. And we can certainly work with PIC staff to get them on the plan if it's feasible.
Great, thank you.
And there's the 2 median breaks I believe you're asking about.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Other comments or questions from members of the commission? Comments or questions from PIC staff, and then we'll go to members of the public.
Go ahead, Rob.
Thank you, sir. I had a question, a couple of comments and questions about North Grove Street, just continuing sort of the Civic Association's prior concerns and comments about the particularly eastbound traffic on Cambridge making a left turn onto Grove Street. Right now, traffic is pretty terrible and dangerous to persons and bicycles, as well as pedestrians, as well as persons in wheelchairs, crossing that intersection. But our big concern now is particularly with the change in these plans to North Grove Street, that the street is being narrowed even further, which means that traffic will be reduced in speed even further coming out of the intersection. Right now, there are 3 lanes. It looks like there's 2 plus a bike lane, I think. It's hard to tell from the plan. I'm not sure how wide the new easement, the sidewalks are going to be at that location. So I think and normally I'm in favor of reducing the speed of traffic, don't get me wrong, but and I'm also a big fan of, I'm in favor of increasing the size of this pedestrian access ramp space as well. But I am really concerned on the potential impact on traffic making that turn. This has been a problem that's been going on for many years. Our big concern is the changes being proposed to North Grove Street will have an adverse effect on the safety of Beacon Hill residents and the public at large. We've talked many times about different options about how to deal with this issue. I'm very concerned about approving this plan now without those options firmly in place as to how the traffic will be dealt with. All we hear about is it's going to be dealt with in the future. We're going to hear about this in the future. But right now, plans are being solidified that will reduce basically the speed and ability of cars to move through North Grove Street, which will impact cars traveling on Cambridge Street, making a left turn onto North Grove Street, which impacts traffic going back into the traffic circle, which impacts everybody. So, the Civic Association remains concerned about that safety issue, and it's a safety issue. Safety to people going to Mass general, safety to Beacon Hill residents, safety to persons on bicycles, safety to persons with disabilities trying to maneuver through this very large and complex intersection. And we're very wary of this particular plan being approved without those safeguards in place. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Any members of the project team want to respond or react to that?
Before we get into that, I will say that, right now, BTD is looking to add a left turn arrow at that location. It's something that we're going to do, as soon as we are able to add that, we've heard this kind of from this. Our ability to do this is we don't have loops out there right now, so we got to cut some loops. And we have to make sure that the controller can support this. But that is something that we're looking to do kind of in the immediate.
So in terms of North Grove and the width of North Grove under current conditions, there are 3 lanes that are marked, but they're very narrow. And working closely with the Boston Transportation Department staff, we spent time monitoring the situation. So those lanes that are very narrow have encouraged people to park on the right side, and the taxi stand spills over, it extends down, which does cause some delay for the vehicles moving through the signal on Cambridge onto North Grove Street. It's the belief of the Transportation Department and the project that by creating 2 normal lanes, clearly striped, clearly marked, will eliminate that friction right here on the curb where cars were just informally standing, allowing the intersection to process more efficiently. We spent time watching the videotapes of the behaviors, and because cars think they can stop here, it was slowing the vehicles from processing through that signal, which is designed to move the vehicles into the campus. So by having the 2 lanes, we didn't need 3 into the campus. Making it a normal width 2-lane arrangement was thought to improve the efficiency to allow cars to get into the garage and maneuver and get off of Cambridge, which I think is the goal of everybody.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions?
If you don't mind, I'll just want to say that I understand what you're saying. I honestly don't think by moving it from 3 lanes to 2 lanes, you're going to reduce that problem, because you're going to have cars turning into the new garage, which will lead to a backed up on that same lane. So we're down to 1 lane. I'm concerned about the left traffic lane signal. I'm not sure how well that's going to work, but anyway, it's not in stone yet. So it's just, it may or may not be something that's feasible. So we have a plan that's going forward that reduces the existing traffic flow on North Grove Street to an adverse impact on the neighborhood. And everything else is conjecture at this point. So I think that to the extent that the PIC would be approving this plan, particularly with respect to the number of lanes on the street, the configuration of the bike lane and where it's being located, all of these other issues, without further study by the BTD and without further decisions made with respect to the impact on traffic, I think it's premature on this particular, not the rest of the plan, which I like. It's just this particular issue has been a difficult issue for more than 2 years, and it still is not resolved. And this plan will make it worse. And that's our public position.
All right, thank you for the comment.
Thank you.
All right, are there any other comments from members of the public or from PIC staff?
No, none.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve a set of petitions by the General Hospital Corporation for specific repairs within Parkman Street, Blossom Street, Cambridge Street, North Grove Street, as read in the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing number 12, on a petition by the General Hospital Corporation, DBA Massachusetts General Hospital, for the granting of a private utility license for the installation of new utility infrastructure within Parkman Street Public Way, Boston proper, located generally west of Blossom Street, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division License Plan, Drain Service, Parkman Street, Boston, one sheet dated December 30th, 2021. Presenters, please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and provide a brief overview of what's being proposed and any changes since the new business hearing.
Good morning, this is Howard Mosier from VHB, joined by members of the project team. Under this action, Mass General Hospital is proposing to install a private drain line across Parkman Street. The purpose of this drain line is to allow any water that is not captured and reused within the building, rainwater or snow, that happens to be captured in the building's tanks. If those tanks are full, it'll be conveyed below Parkman Street to a recharge system being constructed on adjacent MGH property. This drain will be maintained and owned by Mass General Hospital.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments from members of the commission? Questions or comments from PIC staff or members of the public?
All set.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve a petition by the General Hospital Corporation for a private utility license within Parkman Street as read in the record by the chair.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstained? So moved. On to public hearing number 13 on a petition by the General Hospital Corporation, DBA Massachusetts General Hospital, for the granting of an earth retention license for the installation of a temporary earth support system and crane pad infrastructure within the following public ways in Boston proper: Cambridge Street on its northerly side, generally between Blossom Street and North Grove Street; Parkman Street between Blossom Street and North Grove Street; Blossom Street on its westerly side between Cambridge Street and Parkman Street; North Grove Street on its easterly side between Cambridge Street and Parkman Street, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, Temporary Earth Retention, North Grove Street, Parkman Street, Blossom Street, Cambridge Street, 13 sheets dated December 30th, 2021. Presenters, please introduce themselves, their affiliations, give a brief overview, and update us on any changes since the new business hearing.
Good morning, this is Howard Mosier from VHB. And under this proposed action, the proponent is constructing temporary earth support to, one, allow for the installation of the slurry wall for the perimeter of the project, as well as to hold the earth back for the proposed tunnel, support the utilities for proposed tower cranes, proposed material hoist, et cetera. There has been a change to this plan on Cambridge Street. As noted during new business, we've been working closely with the Transportation Department to improve the bike accommodations during the CMP phase of this project. In order to accomplish that objective, we have revised the earth retention to allow for the creation of the bike lane earlier in the project and be maintained for the duration of the project. What it did is it extended the line of Soldier Pile and Lagging a little bit more prominently along Cambridge Street. This is not a difference from the system proposed under new business. It just changes the extent of the Soldier Pile and Lagging along the frontage of the building. That is the only change since new business. We have received our CMP amendment, and I think everything has been worked out to mutual satisfaction. Did we lose the chair?
Chief Franklin Hodge may have frozen. Let's give him a moment to see if he can sign back on. Stand by, everyone. Apologies.
No hold music?
Want to sing, Howard?
Not today. Thank you, though.
He just texted. He's signing back on. While we're waiting, I will actually mention for the record that the city's law department has let me know that the license agreement for this project is still under works. So we'll need that before the project can be reported and closed out.
I think you need somebody to let him back in.
I'm here.
Oh.
I made it back. Apologies, my computer decided to restart itself right in the middle of the hearing. So Todd, did have we completed the proponent presentations, and are we in questions?
Yep, so I just noted that the license agreement is still being worked out with the law department. Beyond that, I don't know that we have any further questions, but we can check one last time.
All right. Well, I will just add a comment here, which is that I'm very appreciative of the proponents' willingness to work with the Boston Transportation Department on improving the pedestrian and bicycle accommodations along Cambridge Street. This is a long duration construction project and a street with quite a bit of volume for both of those modes, and understanding that as we see in this revision, that it had required some significant changes to some of the construction planning. We are grateful that there was a willingness to make those changes to ensure that we do not have 8 years of substandard accommodation for folks on foot and on bike along Cambridge Street. So just want to express gratitude for that cooperation here. Any other questions or comments from members of the commission, members of the public, PIC staff?
I see none.
All right, do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve a petition by the General Hospital Corporation for an earth retention license within Cambridge Street, Parkman Street, Blossom Street, and North Rose Street, as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
All right, moving on to our 2 new business items. We start with new business number 1. Western Avenue Brighton private utility license on a petition by the president and fellows of Harvard College. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and walk us through what is being proposed here?
Great. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. I'm Peter Kohansky from Goulston and Storrs. I'm here on behalf of Harvard University. Joined today by Joe O'Farrell and Danny Rico from Harvard, as well as Mark Younghans and Jeff Tedderitz from VHB, the civil engineering team for this work. We are here at New Business on a petition for a private utility license for the installation of electric and telecommunications conduits, as well as hot and chilled water lines that need to cross Western Avenue in Alston. This utility crossing extends the microgrid that Harvard committed to build. It's a major element of Harvard's sustainability approach set forth in its institutional master plan. This specific work extends utility services from Harvard's district energy facility to Harvard institutional buildings north of Western Avenue. You may remember that Harvard received the commission's approval a couple of years back for the same utility license work crossing North Harvard Street. That work's now complete. This is another step in this important sustainability effort that Harvard has undertaken. So I'll turn it over to Mark to walk you through the plan and answer any questions.
Good morning. This is Mark Younghans with VHB. I'm here representing Harvard and sort of a redo of the kind of crossing we did on North Harvard Street a couple of years back. We have designed, and Jeff, if you could go to the plan, designed a crossing that really goes under the existing utilities in Western Avenue. This plan has taken a lot of folks to get it to where it is. We work with the Boston Water and Sewer Commission. We work with the MWRA, who has a substantial water main in Western Avenue, and we've worked with Eversource and National Grid in coming up with this design. The utilities that are proposed to cross are hot water, chilled water with their return lines, electrical, and telecommunications that are all Harvard utilities. And also there's a cooling condensate collector. And these are designed to provide campus-wide microgrid of utilities to increase efficiency and sustainability. From the district energy plant that was completed probably a year and a half ago now, that's really the keystone of their approach. The utilities were designed to go underneath what exists there. Once again, this is the same approach we used on North Harvard Street. We've been working with the Boston Transportation Department in the last month or so in coming up with a construction management plan that they're happy with for this stretch of road, because it's an important stretch of road, and coming up with a construction management plan that maintains pedestrian and bike facilities during construction, and also provides protection for the existing utilities and existing adjacent properties. So we've come up with an approach. We're still working out the details with Ed Hesper, but he gave us a blessing to move forward because we agree in concept. And we're not proposing to change in the final condition the content of Western Avenue. Really, when this is all done, you won't be able to tell it's there, except for maybe a little bit of a manhole cover on either side of outside the right of way. So hopefully this is reasonably straightforward, a very important project for Harvard, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Members of the commission, any questions or comments? Hearing none, are there questions or comments from PIC staff or members of the public?
Mark, I should know this, but I don't, I apologize. Are your plans calling for a private utility crossing plaque within the sidewalk on either side of Western Ave here?
Not currently. Certainly that doesn't sound like a too heavy a lift. Be happy to add that. Harvard is a noticed utility, so we do have that established already. But yeah, we'd be happy to, if you could just bring us up to speed on the detail you're looking for, we're happy to put that in.
Yep, we'll work with you on that. Thank you.
All right, hearing no other questions or comments, will you be ready for your public hearing in 2 weeks?
I would say absolutely.
All right, excellent. We will see you on, day is that, the 26th of May. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, moving on to new business item number 2, 152 Liverpool Street, East Boston, grant of location on a petition by NStar Electric Company, DBA Eversource Energy. Would the presenters please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and what is being proposed here?
Hi, this is Kelly Correa at Eversource. I do have Chanel Grant on the line with me. We're actually proposing to place a customer manhole and some conduit in the sidewalk over in front of 152 Liverpool Street. I think I can share my screen. And can you see that?
No, we're not able to see your screen.
All right, let me see if this works. Did that work?
Nope, still not able to see it.
All right, so I don't know what I have to do here because I hit share screen. I chose my screen.
Now we're seeing something.
Okay.
There we go. We got you.
Okay, so here's our plan. I know some of it's hard to see, but basically, unfortunately, there is no room in the street whatsoever. We were too close to Boston Water Sewer infrastructure. There is no room on the private property. Generally, we would place this on private property. So really our only option here was the sidewalk. So basically it's coming out of our existing manhole, 44 feet of conduit. The new manhole will be in the sidewalk, and then we have 82 feet of conduit back into the private property. There's a mixed use brand new building over there.
We have questions or comments from members of the commission. Questions or comments from PIC staff or members of the public?
Just hoping that Eversource will confirm that Eversource will be the owner of this infrastructure and will be responsible for maintaining as opposed to the private building.
That is correct, because it's in the public way.
All right, hearing no other comments or questions, will you be ready for your next, for your public hearing in 2 weeks?
We will.
Excellent. Well, we will see you then on the 26th. Thank you very much. Mr. Liming, is there any other business we need to attend to before we adjourn?
No, we're all set. Thank you, sir.
All right. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Thank you all very much. See you soon.
Thank you.